Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's my 11th episode of my online show, Dear Lenka, You Can Tell Me Anything and Everything if you want. And I've got a very special guest in the house today, Jocelyne. Hi, Jocelyne.
Hi, Linka. How are you doing?
I am very good. And Jocelyne is joining my online show from Canada, from British Columbia. So thank you so much for connecting. And I'm just going to let you introduce yourself. Go for it.
Well, I have been in the financial field all my life and in accounting as well, accounting and financial planning. And after working with small business owner, I realized that people are very good or very passionate about something and then they start a business. But
Mhm.
unfortunately, most of them never went to business school. So they struggle with the business finance part, like bookkeeping, paperwork, accounting, and then they struggle. So it's either two things. It's either that they would just gather all the receipt in a shoebox and then at tax time they freak out and they are looking for an accountant to do their taxes, or or they think they will do the right thing. They will just hire a bookkeeper to help them out. And I would say it's a really wise decision to do if you're sure that you're dealing with a good bookkeeper. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's everywhere like this in the world, but the experience that I have where I live, I have been the bookkeeper that entrepreneur were coming to me saying to me, Jocelyne, I hired a bookkeeper to help me out and I thought I was doing a good thing, but like I don't know what happened. Like I'm facing penalties and audit and it doesn't work and my bookkeeper missed some deadline or whatever, and now I need you to help me with that mess. So and then he said, like I said, oh, okay. So what I realized is that people don't understand and it's hard to they said to me, how do you find if it's a good bookkeeper or not? Well, you need to know how it works, first of all. And then once you hire a bookkeeper, if things go sideways, then you can say, oh, okay, there's a red flag here. But if you're not understanding and you're putting your trust in someone that doesn't do the proper things, then you're a little bit screwed up, right? So when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, like this is so painful. Like I don't like people. I like helping people, right? So I made a big decision. I decided I'm done giving the fish to people and being behind my computer and doing data entry for people. I'm gonna show them how to fish so they can catch a fish every day of their life, right? So now I teach business finance. So now I'm an accountant teaching business finance for entrepreneur.
That is so amazing. And you know what, Jocelyn, I studied at the University of Economics and we did have accounting and lots of other subjects, but I did like a few years after I did also another accounting certificate thinking it's going to help my business. I was offered a job straight after and these people looked very pale and not very healthy. I was like, this is not me. I don't want to be buried under the piles of documents and dealing with angry clients just 5 minutes before the deadline. So no, I didn't pursue that, and I didn't even do my own accounting. I hired an accountant because I was put off by this kind of lifestyle a little bit, to be honest. And I'm glad that you're mentioning that you are teaching people how to do like the financial part of the business because it's so essential.
Yeah.
And I mean, can you tell us a little bit about what do you exactly teach people? What areas?
Yeah, so it all started, I can just give you that little story and you'll understand really easy. So it all started when I got a phone call one day. I was doing bookkeeping at that time and doing
Mhm.
taxes. And I got a client and she said, I'm looking for a bookkeeper. Could you help me? So I said, yeah, probably. So let me ask you a few questions. So I started asking her a question like, what is the frequency you need my help? Like, is it like a daily basis? Is it weekly basis? Is it quarterly, yearly? Do you have sales tax? Do you have employees? What software do you use? Like all the basic to see if we were going to be a good fit for me as a bookkeeper and her as an entrepreneur, right? And every single question I was asking her, she was like, oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. And I'm like, so now I'm like thinking, oh, okay, what's going on here? So I said, oh, and she's like, okay, let me explain. She's like, I have been working at this store for 4 years. Like, I'm running the show, I'm ordering stuff, putting stuff on the shelf, running the team and everything. And now the owner of the store is selling, and I am the happy buyer. So I'm buying the business. So now I need a bookkeeper because I've never touched anything of the back end of things. So I said to her, I said, well, how will you know if you hire a good bookkeeper or not? And she's like, I don't know. I said, like, I am sorry. I have a good news and a bad news. Like, the bad news is that I'm very sorry for you, because as a business owner, there's a bare minimum you need to know, because if you don't know what you don't know, you can have big mistakes and big penalties down the road and a lot of things, right? But the good news is that you found the right person, because I love teaching and I love helping. So I would be very happy to put something together for you to learn the basic you need to know. And then after you learn this, you will know if what kind of bookkeeper you need, what kind of software you need for your business, and if you want to do a part of it yourself or give it all to someone to help you out. And she's like, oh, that's interesting. And she said, yeah, maybe I would be interested. So I said, let me put a quote together for you, and then we'll come back to that. So this is what I did. And then she's like, I'm in, I want to try that. So this is my first teaching client. So I went through everything. Like, do you need to charge sales tax? How frequently do you need to remit this? Like, what about the payroll? When are the payroll remittance? And when you do your deposit at the bank, and how it's important that it balanced to the pennies and everything, right? Like, should you be an incorporation or should you be self-employed, and why? What's the tax implication and everything, right? So she taught, like, I taught her all of this. And the software, like, there's many, there's QuickBooks, Sage 50, Xero, there's many tax software. So which one to use, right? So by the end of our training together, she knew that QuickBooks would probably be the best fit for her, because it was talking to her point of sale system, like where she was putting all her cash register sales and stuff. She could connect QuickBooks with that and save a lot of time in data entry. So that would be good. And then we realized that she was a very, very quick learner. And there was like a lot of things that she could get done herself on a day-to-day basis or on a weekly basis, because mainly Mondays her store was closed. So she says, I do all my ordering and my banking, so I could probably do some. So it would save her on bookkeeping fees as well. And the more you have control and know what's going on, the more you understand, right? So, so this is what happened. And I said to her, I said, well, I can teach you how to use QuickBooks. And because she's like, I don't know QuickBooks. I said, well, I can teach you. You can try it on your own. And that would be great, because now that when you hire your bookkeeper, you will know how it works. And if you never know, right? Like, if the bookkeeper get an accident or sick, and you need to step in, like, bookkeeping are such a mess sometimes when you have to take over someone, right? So I'm like, you would learn, you would understand. You don't have to do this forever, because I truly believe people should be doing what their gift are. But if they do understand, and now at the point where they spend like just too much time, or their hourly wage, like, let's say you can earn $300 an hour and you do a task that it's like worth $50 an hour, like, why would you do that yourself? Like, just hire, right? So anyway, so she bought more session with me. I taught her how to use QuickBooks, and we input all the things together. We did some reconciliation, and after the first 2 months, like, she was pretty good, and she's like, here we go. So she was all good to go. And I said to her, I said, the only thing you need to know to have right now is having a good good accountant that will follow you every year to do your taxes, and if you have any question. And off she went. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cool, because I was 5 years in my business at that time, and I was charging hourly for my services. So I was already at the maximum capacity of the clients I could take on and the money I could earn, because I was already working all the time. So I didn't want to work more, and I couldn't charge more. So I was at a ceiling. The first 5 years, I earned the same, I think. So I'm like, okay, now I can help more people, because I can just teach them one, they go, teach them one, they go. So I can have a bigger impact. And now I don't have a ceiling on my revenue anymore, because I teach with the value that I provide, not hourly. I don't trade time for money anymore. So that was the start of my education business, like back in 2017, and it's just so fun.
That's so amazing. Thank you so much for sharing it with us and like giving us, putting into perspective how important it is to actually know the basics and be able to hire the right person. So would you say, Jocelyne, that it is I mean, there's a lot of free resources. Would you say the basics are the same for any kind of business, whether it's having a brick and mortar shop or having a massage salon, or like, is it the same?
So this is what happened. The first time when I started, I did this with her, and I did this with another person and another person. And of course it's different. Like if you have like a project that you sell and you have like a brick and mortar, or if you're just like, let's say a coach that doesn't have a brick and mortar, you work from home and you just sell your services. It's just different, right? But the basic of things are the same. So eventually how I step into next step was I did my course that I was doing with these people, I did it in a group program. And then I was teaching all the basic. And then if they want time, like for their own situation, now that they know the basic, they can just ask any question that they have. But also down the road, what I found out is that there's like that shoebox person that like they don't need like a QuickBooks or any sophisticated software. Like they just like usually gather their receipt and they just need their tax done. So this is where I put my focus on helping people, because I felt that these are the people that help me the most. Like it's organization, it's system, it's saving time, and it's just removing the mess and the stress. Because most of the time when you have a shoebox, you don't even, you think, oh, I'm going to sort it before I go to give it to the accountant. And then now the time passed and now, oops, they are behind. So they missed the tax deadline. So they are like, oh, they kept going. And most of the time they end up like 2 years, 3 years down the road and like, okay, now I need some help because I'm drowning here, right? So I build a bookkeeping software in Excel. So for the person that is the shoebox person, it's very simple. It's Excel, it's left and right. They put revenue and expense and not more than that. Like an 11 years old kid can do that, because my daughter, when she was 11, she was like doing what I was telling her to do, like on the spreadsheet, right? But there's a lot of formula and a lot of things in the background that they don't see, because if they hit a cell that it's protected, it says it's protected because it's a formula. But it also build like a income statement so that they give this to their accountant to go to for tax time. It also build for themselves to see where the business at, like a month to date, a year to date, and they can discover, like a lot of people that have bought my software, I never realized how much money I was spending like in training, or, oh, I made a big decision. I let go of my office because I was spending way too much money. Now I'm working from home. Or like when they see all the numbers and everything, like it's like, oh my God, like now it's becoming obvious, right? And they make better decision for their business. So they save a lot of time and they save a lot of money, but they also probably save on Tylenol because they save a lot of headache and stress and everything. So so now like I really specialize in helping the shoebox people, because I have like a little course that teach them what paperwork is important and how to organize the paperwork, and then how to put that in the bookkeeping software. And after that, they just go to the accountant. So it's all a little bit different, but at the same time, it's the same thing. Like it's.
And I believe like a lot of people, they just need a step by step. Like, okay, I have no idea where to start. What do I need to do first? So yes. Once they have these steps, I don't think it's so difficult. It's just the consistency, keep doing it. And
yeah, the best tip is to meet every week with yourself and do it. Because if you just do it once a month, you don't quite remember because it's not obvious. But if you do this every single week, like it's like if you make a cake. If you were making a cake every single day, like after 2 weeks, you would know the recipe by heart and you would just eyes closed and do that cake. But if you do that cake once a month or once a year, you can't remember what you put in, and you need that recipe to follow. So the more you do something, the quicker and easier it becomes, and it's a second nature, and you can just like listen to your training that you're doing or do whatever, and then just do it, and it's easy, right? It doesn't take the mental space and the bandwidth, right? So
Yeah, and it's interesting you say that, because I didn't even think doing it weekly. My goal was to do it monthly, and you know what? I was doing it like once a year, just before the tax return
yeah,
deadline.
because
So,
I always compare this to dishes. It's like if
mhm.
you do, let's say you have always a clean sink, and now you come with your plate and you just rinse it right after, it's easy. But now let's say that you had pizza and you put your dishes down the sink, and then you have something else and you put that, and now you just wash the dishes 1 week later. Now, first of all, it's a big mess. It's stinky. You don't want to touch this. But not only that, one plate with the pizza sauce and the cheese, it would have taken you maybe 10 seconds to rinse, like even with cold water when it's fresh. If you do it 2 days later, now the sauce is dry, the cheese is all sticky. Now you need to run the hot water. And I don't know if you have instant hot water, but I don't. Like, it takes sometimes 2-3 minutes before I get hot water. And now you need to let it sink a little bit, and then you need to scrub. So for that same plate, instead of 10 seconds and it's clean, now it's 5 or 10 minutes, right? And it's the same with paperwork. It's exactly the same thing. And the dishes, the more stinky, the more full it is, the less you want to do it. It's the same with the paperwork. So yeah, I do this in a talk, and now there's a lady, she said, "Oh, you're my dishes buddy now. Like, I always think about you when I put dishes in the sink."
Yeah, that's it's really important to put in an analogy like this. So I was going to ask you, because you're helping people with the financial side, you're teaching, you are really supporting business entrepreneurs, and I see currently you're running your amazing Entrepreneurs Blueprint Summit. So can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes. So, like I was saying, like, I see that people are good at what they do. They start a business and then they struggle with their business finance, but they don't only struggle with business finance. They struggle with having lead coming to their business. Like, or they go networking and they don't know what to say. Sometimes you speak with 5 minutes with someone and you still don't know what they're doing. Like, people are not clear and they don't know how to attract the ideal client to themselves. Now they need to deal with Facebook, Instagram, and everything to attract client. They need to have a website. It's all stuff that they don't know, right? So I had the amazing idea to put a summit together and have expert in different field all around, like, that entrepreneur needs. So it started Monday. So technically people can register now, and then they will receive one email a day with one interview. So, and the interviews are like, it's totally free, but the interview goes away 48 hours after they come out, unless you want to have a VIP pass, which is only $49, and you get all the recordings of all the interview. And also what's amazing is every speaker have been generous and giving an amazing gift. So if you join the VIP, you also get like a list of all the gifts to download and get, and you get a private Facebook group to interact with other VIP people. And at the end, I will do a master class of 90 minutes with the VIP people to
Oh.
check what they like, what they don't understand, and then put all strategy together to put their success on the fast lane, right? And so it started Monday. So now this morning the video of Monday went away, but we can still can watch yesterday's video and today's video and so on. So people can just register. And I don't know if we could put the link, but it's entrepreneurblueprintsummit.com/Jocelyne, Jocelyne. There's an E at the end of my name. So
I love that. And I actually missed the first day. So I'm watching your second and third day. I was like, oh no, it's disappeared like a couple of hours ago
yeah.
for me. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to continue. And there's a lot of value. I know you are bringing amazing speakers on the show. They give out a lot of value, tips, and it's amazing. I really appreciate you for creating this. And I'm going to also bring you onto my workshop in January all around abundance, financial freedom, wealth, prosperity, especially for entrepreneurs and starting entrepreneurs, especially women. So definitely I want to make sure that you are there as a special guest as well. So
thank you.
yeah, thank you so much. And I love the VIP offer, only $49. People go and register, get all the recordings, all the gifts, and all the love and advice from Jocelyne and her dear guests. So so far, what can we expect on the summit? Tell us a little bit, like what's coming.
So the first day we had someone that teaches how to convert lead from Instagram into customer.
Ooh, wow.
And then after that I was like, okay, who's next speaker? And I was like, oh, there's a lot of people on the list that don't even know me, so maybe I should just introduce myself. So the second day I did my interview, someone interviewed me, and today we have an amazing lady that was all her career into beauty projects. So she was working like with people and everything, and when the shutdown happened and she couldn't see anyone in person, like it just was tragic for her business, and she had to flip around like most of people did, right? So, and she did it so well, and and there was at the same time that the Clubhouse arrived, and she just found that strategy with Clubhouse and Instagram Reels and everything, and how to convert, and now she teaches that to people. So that's pretty amazing. I have some people that are business strategists. So tomorrow it's going to be someone who is a strategist with system and content planner. Like, she's so amazing. Like, she has always like so many tips. I learned so much from her so far in my business, and I implemented what she taught me, and it's been very, very successful. So because system is everything about system, like, right? Like everything you can put on autopilot and save time, then you get all that time to focus on something else and generate money for your business, right? Or have more time with your family if it's what you want, right? Whatever, right? I have some amazing speakers that are professional in networking and teach people how to network in a way that they attract people. Like, I don't know if you've been doing networking event, but for the last 4 years, like, I used to do about 200 networking event a year. So that's 3 to 5 networking event a week. And I go networking all the time, and I chat with people, and then sometimes like you're 5 minutes, like, and then you want to move on to talk to the next person, but it's 5 minutes and people have talk, and you still don't know what they're doing. So if you confuse your people when you go networking, no wonder that you don't attract the right person for you, right? So we have expert that helps people how to master their message. I have someone that is very good at making money like while she sleeps, so she's teaching that as well. Who else? I have an amazing guest that she show us how to write a book in very, very short period of time, and that book become almost like your business card, that when people read your book, first of all, it shows you at the authority in your field, but it also helps you to attract more clients. And yes, I have like a variety. Like, I have a few business coach, I have a few mindset coach, because once you're an entrepreneur, even if you know everything, like, if you don't have the proper mindset, I'm not sure you'll be going far, right? So I have a lot of people with mindset. So I just try to see where entrepreneurs struggle and just find I have one that is amazing too. And she show us how to create Facebook group, how to connect and invite people to your Facebook group and grow that Facebook group, that eventually you make money out of your Facebook group. Like, she's a 7 figures earner, all that organically from our Facebook group. So anyway, there's just so many gem in there. And one question that I've been asking all of them, which is a question that every time I meet someone very successful, that's my go-to question. And it's like, okay, now that you are here in your business and you're successful, like, if you were to just go back in time and start all over again, like, anything you would do differently, or you would still do the same because it was a success, or you would not do? Like, what would you tell your younger self that didn't know what they didn't know, but now you know, right? So, and those are gems, right? Because like, you can see success leaves clue, and you can see that a lot of advice come back all the time. So if you're watching every single interview and you can catch what not to do or what to focus on, then you can definitely be on the fast track for your success.
I love that. And thank you for mentioning that and giving us the outline of your summit, because especially those gems, like I know that all of us, right, you and me, we are in the business, we could have done something 5 years ago that we were putting off, or we didn't know how to do it, we were confused, we were like, okay, that's not important, and in the end of the day it was the key thing that we should have done a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
whether it's being having an accountant, whether it's being creating something that we've not been creating, so definitely that's really important. And my question, Jocelyne, is what's your number one advice that you would have given to yourself?
Oh, that's good. So it's just focusing, because like when I first started, like I wanted to learn everything, and I like the shiny, like a syndrome, object syndrome, right? Like you're just starting something and something, oh, I did this. And it's like, oh, you do this. And you just start a lot of things and you go everywhere, but you don't focus and nothing gets done. Like I would just maybe sit back a little bit and looking at who is the expert that I like their style, what they are doing. And then I would say, oh my God, this is how I want to play the game of entrepreneur. And I would just look for that person and then study one thing like of to do, right? So, and put system in place. Like when I first started this educational business 4 years ago, I'm like, okay, I'm going to focus on being out there doing networking and being known. So I attract people to me. But then what happened, I said, I'm going to put my system down the road in place. And then what happened, eventually I had like that big flow of people coming in. And now I don't have enough time because my system are all not all ready. If my system would have been ready, I could say, okay, you go here, just check that out. And then once you're done, then I can help you. Like automation is amazing. And this is what I'm working on my business, that in 5 years, I'm going to want to retire and people can buy my course and learn the basic of business finance. They can learn all what they need to do. And then if they want to be VIP to have like one-off session or something, then they can just buy like an hour of my time to complete. But you know, all those hours are automated, right? So yeah, so I would
Yeah,
say focus on one thing and put system in place, and that's the best.
that's a very great advice, and I would recommend reading or listening to audiobook called The One Thing.
Yeah.
It really puts into perspective, like, okay, we do have to do just one thing at a time, especially women, and do it properly. So
Yeah.
it will make such a big difference. So definitely, and the systems. And that brings me to a question, because I'm helping people, or women, I would say right now, I'm helping women build their businesses and actually create their own digital courses. And you've mentioned a course. Is that something that you are creating or looking to create?
I did, and I did take a course for that. And the best advice I was given from that course is that most of people have an idea of a course they want to do, and they go and they spend like 3-6 months to build their course. They spend like a lot of sweat, tears, and everything, hours, and then they turn around to want to sell their course and nobody wants to buy it. So you want to reverse engineer, like you want to just do a market research and say, hey, if I was to create this, or let's, and this is how I launched my group program. I said, okay, I'm going to do a beta group and just checking out how it works as a group. I'm going to launch at a lower price, and then eventually it's going to be recorded and I can sell it, but it's never going to be at that price again. And then this is how you see, like if nobody signed up, then maybe you need to change the wording, or maybe you need to change the subject. But when people sign up and you do it, then that means that there is demand and people wants what you do. And now you almost like get paid to create what you want to do, right? So I did this, I just launched a membership, a paid membership this summer, and it's called Anything Money, and it's all about financial literacy, like getting out of debt and started to save and investing and then protecting, like all like building wealth, right? And I didn't know how much people would have interest on this or something. So I kind of did a launch, and I said, it's really affordable right now. It's really low price, and you will be helping me to build that. So I gathered them and I said, okay, what do you want to learn? And then most of people said, oh, I want to get out of debt. So my first workshop that month was getting out of debt. And I'm like, okay, what's next? Oh, I want to know like the difference with a registered investment and taxes, or just investment, the basic, I don't know what to do. So my second workshop was on investing. And now, like, you say, oh, well, what about the mindset? Like, I don't have a proper money mindset and stuff. So now my next workshop in about 2 weeks is about mindset. So, and you go with what people ask and you build, but now it's like I'm getting paid to build my stuff, and now I can just reuse that and then eventually package this and sell. So it's just saving time, saving money.
Yeah, definitely. It's a great advice. And there's so many, if people are asking, how do I survey people? There's so many different opportunities. You can survey people in your posts, in the stories. You can survey your email list. You can ask people around. You can read reviews on like books on this subject. So there's like so many places where we can get the information even indirectly. So yeah, that's really great, because you are right. Like, so many people invest a lot of time, money, energy, and then like nobody buys. So for sure, definitely. And always like not make it perfect first time, because there's gonna be that second, third time where you can tweak it, you can make it better. So yeah, I'd love to have you in my group of powerful women as well. So we are creating some magic. I'll send you the invite.
Anytime. And I have a little smile when you said like create like imperfect, because like my motto in business has been better imperfect action than perfect in action. Because like really often we like try to be having everything perfect, and then it just stalls us. Like I saw someone having like 3 business cards because, oh, the first one, oh, there was this, oh, I don't like the color. And then like, it's like 3 months down the road, and then all what was focused on is the 3rd business card, and they never put time to get money in the business to attract clients. It's like, where are you going? Like, you don't even need a business card if you don't have people to get in the door, right? So, and a lot of people are like, I used to be that way. Like, I want to have something good and perfect, otherwise I don't want to put it out there. But by the time, like, there's always something that you can improve. It can never be perfect, right? So why don't you just put a first draft out there, and the feedback that people give you helps you to make it even more perfect, and it's going faster than you trying to figure out all the things, right? Like, so yeah, better imperfect action than perfect in action. Just start now, and then just like a lot of people wait to be confident to start, but they just need to start, and the confidence is going to come down the road. So
yeah, it's so beautiful how you said it, because I always say also better imperfect action than no action. So, and my course that I'm creating is actually called From Stack to Fired Up. So I really love that you mentioned that, and it's just like getting out there, getting into action, and just learning from mistakes. And they're not really mistakes, they're just learning points. And the feedback is so crucial, so valuable. And yeah, thank you so much for mentioning that. I'm just going to wrap up because we've run out of time, Jocelyne.
Yeah.
Like, we could talk all night.
We could talk all week about anything, right? Like, I'm so passionate about that.
Especially about money and business and finances. So definitely a hot topic. And so if people want to find you, you're on Facebook, Instagram as well?
Jocelyne Devisser is Facebook. I'm on Instagram too, but I'm not really active. Lately I am for my summit, but I'm at J the Keeper in my Instagram, but reach out on Facebook and I'll be really happy.
Just a very short question, because you're helping people with business finances. Does it apply only to clients from Canada, or is it also international?
Oh, that's a good question. So no, my business is really international, because what I help them is paperwork organization, bookkeeping basic. And then this is the same everywhere. And then when it's time to be different, now it's switching to having an accountant. So bookkeepers, like at the beginning, I wasn't actually sure bookkeeping, but I've been studying with a lot of people all around the world because I'm connected and working with other accountants. And bookkeeping, like keeping track of all the business expense, is very, very similar. And if there is like an example, if there's one thing that is different, then your accountant will tell you as well, right? So example, meal and entertainment in Canada, it used to be meal and entertainment in the States, but in the States they shut down the entertainment. Now it's just meal. So if you were gathering all meal and entertainment in the state and you go with your accountant for taxes, your accountant would tell you, oh, we don't do entertainment here. So all the organization and the paperwork and the system, bookkeeping and everything is all the same. And then I help people up until here. And after that, I say, okay, you find an accountant where you live. Because even in Canada, different province is different rule. In the state, different state is different rules. So yeah, you really want to have an accountant where you live.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And it's great that you are helping them to find the right accountant in that local area. So that's so great. So again, thank you so much. Thank you for coming. I'm going to bring you back again because we all have so many questions about business finances. And I can't wait to watch the rest of your summit. I wish you good luck, and everyone go and register the Entrepreneur Blueprint Summit.
Yeah, I put a lot of work to help you. So go ahead, and it's a lot of golden information.
That will be, and like implement it, better imperfect action, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, Lenka.
You're welcome. See you again.